Hello, everyone. Welcome back again to Now That's Crazy. I'm your co-host, Cedric.
I'm Tristan.
And I'm Kiana.
As usual, we have another set of reaction videos. We actually have a new set of reaction videos ready for you all right now. We're going to be reacting to Judge Judy. If you don't know who she is, please go do your research. This lady is a fireball, and she's nothing to be played with. She really don't. She is nothing. She is not a fire to reckon with. Don't do it. So we are watching the top 10 quickest cases. I personally feel like all her cases are quick. But anywho, this is the top 10 quickest cases on Judge Judy. We're not going to hold you long. Before we get into the video, please, as always, like and subscribe to our channel. And please share. Bring more love over here to our channel and experience the crazies with Now That's Crazy. So again, without further ado, we're going to get right into the video.
Yay! Baloney! That's what these people are full of. Hey guys, it's Phoebe. Welcome to Ms. Mojo. Today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 quickest cases on Judge Judy. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. We're looking at ridiculous cases on Judge Judy that were swiftly resolved due to a lack of evidence or just general human stupidity. Let's get right to it. Number 10, heroin addict.
I gave her, All right, Mr. Stemple. I'm not going to go any further with you, sir.
This is probably one of the saddest cases in Judge Judy history. The defendant is Jason Stemple, a heroin addict who is clearly going through withdrawal.
Ever had any substance abuse problems? No, ma'am.
He appears totally distraught, complete with baggy eyes, a gaunt face, and a lot of twitching. He can barely string two words together, and the plaintiff is even forced to answer questions on his behalf. She also admits that he used money she had given him for a drug test to buy heroin instead.
Eventually I got it out of him and he had paid for heroin.
Judy quickly brings the case to an end in under 2 minutes by first telling Jason he needs help, then by offering to get him some if he wants it. It's rare for Judy to show compassion in court, but it's clear that this man needed to hear some harsh but reassuring words.
But I'm going to suggest to you, 31 years old, if you want to be 32 years old, you better get yourself some help.
Number 9. She's an idiot.
Go it. Speak.
Let's lighten the mood and watch the Judy we all know and love, the one who calls other people idiots. In this case, the plaintiff is suing Sandy Huang for a $4,800 loan. He'd co-signed the loan, the money of which was used for Sandy's breast implants.
I asked and I was like, I want to get my boobs done. And afterwards my boyfriend at the time said he was willing to pay for it.
So why didn't he?
He got arrested.
I did not know that part.
However, the plaintiff and friend, or perhaps former friend now, says that Sandy hasn't been making her payments, and Sandy says that she had considered the loan a gift.
If he doesn't say he gave you a gift, so it's not my fault, right?
Of course, he doesn't see it that way, and he wants his money. Judy absolutely annihilates Sandy and calls her an idiot before slapping her with the whole $4,800 bill.
She's an idiot.
Thanks. To top it all off, she states that Sandy shouldn't have any more children, lest she spread her stupidity. Ouch.
That some people say that being an only child is not a good thing. In your daughter's case, perfect.
Number 8, ruined iPhone. Here's a little tip for all you pranksters out there. If you break something, you have to pay for it, even if it was an accident. Defendant Ashley Hunter pushed her friend Jennifer into a pool and broke her
What? Okay.
iPhone.
I think I remember saying this somewhere. I can't remember. But something stupid happened in the full episode of this. Let me see if they show it.
Be compensated. Fair enough. However, Ashley refuses to pay because it was an accident, and it, quote, wasn't malicious at all.
And it wasn't malicious at all. I had no idea she had her iPhone. I felt awful after it happened.
Well, you felt awful. That means you pay for it if you feel awful.
Of course, Judy isn't having that ridiculous explanation, and she bluntly ends the case by telling Ashley to grow up and own her mistakes. The whole thing ends with Ashley explaining rocket science to Judy, or trying to. Seeing as how the whole room exploded with laughter, we don't think she succeeded.
Simple as that. This isn't that rocket science. What is rocket science?
Rocket science is when the scientists find out things about space.
Number 7, bird monitor.
I don't even know what to say about that.
I swear, I think this stuff is scripted. I think this stuff is scripted, Tristan. This is not real. Rocket science is when a rocket studies other space. She said, y'all should go back, play that part again. Look at the seriousness in her face.
Rocket science.
Rocket science is when the scientists find out things about space.
Number 7,
Even the bank.
My stomach.
Wow, you really tickled.
Because it was how serious she looked when she said that. She could not help. She could not help it. It too went popular with that type of mentality. Okay, I'm done. She could not be in any court in Memphis.
bird monitor.
You gave away your bird.
To a good home, Your Honor.
You
That's what
gave
the ad says.
away your bird.
Lots of toys to destroy.
Down, open up your ears and listen.
Sometimes good intentions can land you in jail. This was almost the case for plaintiff Tracy Martin, who sold her pet parrot to the defendant. She later saw the parrot and believed that it was being neglected, as it didn't have any toys and, quote, looked horrible. Judy stops the case dead in its tracks because, quote, courts don't micromanage pets. She also states that once a transaction is made, the seller has no further responsibility or say over the pet's well-being.
She doesn't want anything to do with you anymore. You gave her your bird.
Exactly.
Shh! This is true for private affairs, and it's also true for pet adoption centers. As such, Tracy has no case, and Judy even warns her of potential jail time if she continues in her well-meaning but naive pursuit.
If you don't leave her alone, the police are going to get involved and she will get a restraining order against you from coming anywhere near her or where she lives. You have to stay away from her.
Number 6, one weird practical joke.
Try just to speak the truth. Do you understand?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Good. Try to speak the truth, then we won't have any trouble, Mr. Mystery.
No problem.
If you don't, we're going to have a lot of trouble.
Oh, the things Judy has to hear. This case sees Jimmy Mystery suing his
I got pretty upset and I hid his car from him.
Raphael eventually recovered the car, but Jimmy noticed some extensive damage, including dents, scratches, and a missing grill. Despite calling Jimmy a wise guy, Judy swiftly awards him $910, because you can't just steal your friend's car and hide it in a park.
By the way, Your Honor, you look beautiful.
Don't
Don't suck up.
Mr.
Don't
Mystery.
suck up.
No, he didn't.
Fastest way for you out the door, sir.
Number 5, two tiny women.
What were you cursing at them for?
Because they're losers.
There's nothing like a good Judge Judy evisceration. Defendant Alexandra Nelson had harassed the plaintiff outside of his house and swore at 5 or 6 of his friends. The plaintiff retaliated by confronting them, but according to Alexandra, they were just being dumb, and the plaintiff had no right to confront 2 tiny women. This ridiculous statement shocks Judy, who contorts her face and visibly recoils from the stupidity. She then calls Alexandra an idiot and a manipulative problem, before slapping her with a $4,000 judgment.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $4,000. That's all. Step out.
Maybe next time she'll think about provoking people in front of their own houses. Because if there's one thing we learned here, it's that silliness like that results in one swift court case. Number 4, can I interest you in some venison? This is one of the funniest cases in Judge Judy history. It sees Eve Dettenheim suing her own sister, Carol, over damages to her car. Carol had taken the car and hit a deer, causing $1,300 in damages.
I just didn't think.
You didn't think. Who do you rely on to do your thinking?
I just use it all the time and she wasn't home, so I went over there to get the key and went, and the deer just jumped out in front of me.
It sounds like a typical Judge Judy case, until you consider the finer details. The fact that Carol took the carcass home, made venison stew, and offered some to her sister.
What'd you do with it?
Ate it.
Is that true?
Yes, ma'am, and she even offered me some, but I'm not having rigor mortis stew.
Or the wacky sitcom-esque declarations, like Carol defensively stating that the venison did not have rigor mortis, or the audience desperately trying to contain their laughter. It was like watching a Judge Judy parody on SNL. Needless to say, Carol was forced to pay the damages. Turns out venison stew does not fix cars.
So why don't you work?
Because I don't have to.
Well, you have to because you owe your sister $1,300.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to have to owe
Judgment for the
$1,300.
plaintiff in the amount of $1,300. Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
Your
Go
Honor.
back to Louisiana and be happy.
Number 3, don't get comfy.
Thank you, bud.
You're welcome, sir.
Don't get comfy.
Am I ready for that?
No. Okay.
When Judy says don't get comfy, you know a verbal smackdown is right around the corner. That's exactly what happened when Brenda Powell sued her ex-roommate Angela Rust. Brenda was forced to move out of their apartment, and now she wants Angela to pay the difference between her new, more expensive apartment and the apartment she shared with Angela. However, Judy destroys her confidence with 4 words. That's not a case.
That's not a case. So, sorry to tell you, we don't do cases like that because it's ridiculous.
She goes over a few of Brenda's options before dismissing the case with a simple goodbye. This whole thing is over in 2 minutes, and it leaves Brenda in tears. We can't say we blame her. We'd cry too if Judy eviscerated us like that.
That doesn't happen. Goodbye.
Just like that.
That doesn't happen. Goodbye. Da, da, da,
No
da.
mercy. No mercy.
You know it's over when you hear the theme music. Hold on, she ain't even started crying yet. She looked up.
Oh my God.
Broke my toilet. Now, what is small claims court for if you can't sue your friend over a broken toilet? Police are ready to believe that her large friend, Barbara Roth, is responsible for her toilet because it cracked up her...
I didn't mean to laugh. I looked at the wrong time. It caught me by surprise. My mouth was wide open. She said she broke up the toilet.
I already see where it's going. I don't even
That is so mean. That is so
That's
mean.
very mean.
That
How you
is
gonna
so
sue her for
mean.
that?
And then they put the camera on her. She's so embarrassed.
That's embarrassing.
That's embarrassing.
That's really embarrassing.
I can't.
Barbara sat on it. This whole ordeal is probably the most embarrassing thing that Barbara has ever gone through.
Yes.
And we feel terrible for her. And so does Judy.
All I want to know is, did you fall on it? Did you kick it?
Heck no.
Did you hit it with a hammer?
No.
Did you hit it with a wrench?
No, Your Honor, no.
It broke.
She quickly explains that the toilet broke while Barbara was using it. In other words, that Barbara did not intentionally break the toilet, before calling the case stupid and throwing it out. The audience claps and guffaws, and everyone goes home happy. Everyone except Lisa.
Toilets break. I had one just break in my apartment last week. Cost me $650 to put in a new toilet. You think I went around to try to find the last person who sat on it? Be stupid. Grow up. That's all.
Before we unveil our most jaw...
Do you think I went around and tried to find the last person who sat on it? That was a good line. That's when nothing else. Wow.
That was dumb and embarrassing. Like,
It really was. That was embarrassing for the lady. That was dumb for her.
Accidentally breaking your toilet.
This is why you don't use it at company house. It's like they strategically put their stuff a certain way so they'll know if you did something, so they can purposefully blame you for it.
Droppingly stupid #1 pick, let's take a look at some honorable, or would it be dishonorable, mentions.
Who do you live with?
My witness?
How do you support yourself?
My mom pays my rent.
Mr. Van Hanswick's going to understand that when he comes to court, he's supposed to bring all relevant information, not just the information that he wants me to read.
And she was like, why? And
I got it.
Yes, Your Honor. And it was behavior like that. I was like, Melissa, what's going on?
#1, Dumb and Dumber. Judy must love it when the defendants do her job for her. In what is perhaps the most famous case in Judge Judy history, a man incriminates himself in a matter of seconds by indirectly admitting that he stole a woman's purse. The plaintiff, Ginny Paradesa, lists some of the items that were stolen in the purse snatching, including her wallet, a calculator, and an earpiece. Or was there an earpiece? Not according to the defendant, who brilliantly states, "There was no earpiece in there, ma'am."
I had to replace all my IDs. I had gift cards in there, my earpiece, and a calculator.
There was no earpiece in there, ma'am.
Everyone laughs in disbelief. Judy calls them dumb and dumber, and the plaintiff is awarded $500 for her troubles. Now, if only all court cases could be that simple.
Judging for the plaintiff for the amount of $500, that's what I think it's worth.
There was not in there.
Imagine being stupid enough to incriminate yourself in front of the Judge Judy herself.
Played yourself.
Bro, that was just.
Played
that didn't even take a
yourself.
minute. That's just. That don't make no sense. How you gonna say what wasn't in the purse? What?
They young. They young.
Nah, that's
Dumb
just,
and dumber.
no,
Know what that is.
that's just,
You're right. We shouldn't blame age on that. Shoot. TJ,
that's
our
it.
smart guy, was smart enough to get that. Come on then.
I got sense. They just chose not to use. That don't make no sense. But that was so dumb. There was no earpiece in there. How?
Obviously, no words. Look, y'all comment below this video. Tell us what you think about the broken toilet. What was the last one? The broken toilet. The lady who felt like she could sue for a missing bed in her house. And what was the last case I literally just forgot it that day. It was that crazy. Oh, Dumb and Dumber. What y'all think about these cases?
Just...
Comment below what y'all think. As always, thank y'all for sitting there with us as we react to these videos. See you.